One day it dawned on me, we have been sexually discipled by the world. As a pastor in the nation's fourth largest city, and as one who has worked with numerous premarital couples, I couldn't agree more with Dr. Julie Slattery's comments. Indeed, any honest observer must realize that there seems to be a concerted effort in most forms of entertainment and the media to promote an image and purpose of sexuality that is radically at odds with biblical teaching and historic Christian practice. Julie's awakening to this ethical challenge has become our gain because, in response, she has written a very courageous book about the need to pioneer an important new work under the bold moniker Sexual Discipleship. She writes, although sexuality presents an enormous challenge to Christians and to the world at large, it is not a problem to be solved, but a territory to be reclaimed. You might recall that as Gentiles mixed with Jews in the first century, the early church had to decide which ethical issues were most important for Jews and Gentiles alike to follow. These issues had to span cultural differences because the gospel was created to be a worldwide influence. Accordingly, the apostles stripped ethical obligations down to only a very few commands. Here's what they came up with. Abstain from the things polluted by idols, and from sexual immorality, and from what has been strangled, and from blood. Acts 15:20. About the only one of those points most relevant today is sexual immorality. And yet this is precisely the arena in which Christians seem to be more muddled, more confused, more at odds with one another, and frankly so much in the throes of disobedience. Which means sexual discipleship isn't a peripheral controversy. It goes to the very heart and birth of our faith and beliefs. If we veer off course, sexually speaking, we will not be the unique people God has called us to be. Dr. Julie Slattery is exactly the right person to lead the way in reclaiming this land. She seems uniquely gifted by God to write this book and champion this cause. Her compassion and empathy cover each word. She is a living embodiment of the grace and truth principle she espouses, bold and unstinting with truth, yet quick and generous with grace and understanding. As you'll hear in this book, Philip Yancey once said, I know of no greater failure among Christians than in presenting a persuasive approach to sexuality. Thank God for calling and equipping Dr. Julie Slattery to restake a claim so essential to who we are and to what we believe as the Christ-following people of God. Gary Thomas, author of Sacred Marriage.